We have a very special guest in studio today. She is the founder of the Kirkwood School for Boys. She's also a member here at Adventure Unknown, the great and powerful Becky Neale. Welcome to the show.
Welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you,
How
Pat.
are you?
Appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm excited to get in here and kind of get to know you a little bit more.
Yeah, you too. I see you around.
Yeah.
I try to steer clear because I know what you do.
I'm a nice guy.
No, you are when I'm on the other side of the table.
Well, you have some experience with like training MMA, right?
Yes, I do. I mean, let's jump into that because my second son really wanted to do martial arts, and I really wanted him to have an awesome role model in his life. And we found Jermaine Andre. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of him.
I've heard of him.
I think he created one of the first belt systems for MMA. And so we started going through the belt systems there. And, I wanted him as Mason's role model, for a man. And so I jumped in the classes with him. He does everything from you sit in Seiza when you start to primarily strikes. He actually recommended Mason to do wrestling in high school so that he could practice the floor work. So we didn't do a lot of floor work, but holy cow, I've been kicked in the leg by somebody who was a red belt. You know, when you describe somebody who has metal shins. Okay. That's a thing, right?
Oh yeah. They're just those guys that have been training Muay Thai for so long because what happens is your shins really get like conditioned after a while, because you take anybody and go kick something, it's going to hurt your shin. But if you're doing that all the time, like you just kind of grow
they're deadening your nerves.
Yeah. And I think you're getting like these little tiny micro fractures. And, they say like whenever you fracture a bone and it heals back stronger. So like, I think what's happening there is you're getting all these tiny little micro fractures over like a long period of time. And it's just like making your shins like, bulletproof. Well, not bulletproof, but you know what I mean? They're very like more dense and harder and it just doesn't hurt you as much. And you've kind of desensitized that area just because you've been slamming it into things for however long.
We would watch movies and my son is sitting there with a broomstick deadening his
just hitting
his shins.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, people taking broomsticks and or like you'll see the guys in Thailand, like they go and kick banana trees because they're kind of because they're like a softer wood, but it's still like wood.
Yeah, there's and so oxymoron right there.
And it's still wood, but it's like a softer wood.
Right.
And so like they'll literally, there's videos I've seen online of people like literally kicking trees until they like fall. Like it's like a time lapse video of them like kicking a tree for however long and eventually
their shins
and then they're doing that to strengthen their shins.
So one thing I noticed was, normally you were wearing gloves in there. We're wearing gloves. But every once in a while, we would do it without gloves. What's that called?
Bare knuckle.
Thank you. Bare knuckle. And so I noticed outside of the dojo, if I had just done some bare knuckle strikes, then I would go out in the normal world, grocery shopping or whatever, and it was distinct, the type of people that knew what I was doing and the people that did not. All the bougie moms that I normally talk with, they could not figure out what happened with your manicure. What's going on?
Why your hands all beat up?
But then all the blue collar studs out there, they knew exactly what I had been doing. They're like, damn, girl, I don't want to meet you in the dojo.
Right.
It was cool. It's a way of communicating with people.
For sure. You can definitely, that's definitely a sign of, because it's, I heard something recently that was like, they were talking about one of the first things you notice about somebody is their hands.
Oh,
like
you
keep an eye on people's hands a lot. Like it's just something that your eyes generally gravitate towards is people's hands. So that's something that, if your hands are bruised and beaten up, it's like people are definitely going to notice that.
They are. And
it's like body language, people talking with their hands, or you're hiding your hands, you're closed off. If you've got your hands out in front and they're open, you're open to communication. You're clenched, you're closed, things like that.
That's right. The body language.
Yeah. So
now I'm going to be very self-conscious about what I'm doing with my hands. Yeah. I kind of feel like hiding them.
Well, and I've read a lot up on like body language and reading people that way. But like one of the things that everybody's like, they keep talking about how these men or guys are standing there and that this is some sort of sign of like Illuminati or whatever.
That's where I thought you were going.
And for the people that can't see Pat's hands, he's like holding up like a diamond.
Like really, it's a power stance. So
Or yeah, like this, I think,
so
or something like
you've
that.
got you got your hands. You can either have your hands like this,
Okay.
or you just put your hands like this. And if you're standing there, if I'm standing there and I've got my hands out in front of me like this, that's a power stance. If you have your hands like this, also a power stance. Whereas if you just lock your hands, now you're closed off. Hands in your pocket, you're closed off. So there's just
Not just closed off. You're probably insecure and
Yeah,
nervous.
exactly.
I've never seen anybody.
I've never seen anybody do
I'm
the
gonna
diamond
do it,
thing.
though.
I've
Start-
definitely like sat there like
so-
this before, just like
so-
not even,
It does look powerful.
you know.
when
But
do it.
I've never done.
When
This
you're-
seems like an odd one to me.
When watch if you watch any talk shows or anybody giving a speech or like anything like that,
Yeah.
look at their hands. I bet
Yeah.
their hands are in I forget what like a Madura, something like that,
Steeple pose, or I think like that's what I've
Or-
heard or something.
or like this. So it's one of these,
Yeah, nice.
and you'll see people sitting there like this or have their hands like this as like a power,
So
confidence, power, like a power stance.
yeah.
Yeah.
And are you part of a club if you do that?
No,
Do
it's
you get
just
to be-
Yeah, I
no,
don't
it's
know.
just something that like I've kind of been conscious about, so I don't sit here and cross my hands like this. So like keep my hands like this or
nice.
like that. So it's like, hey, I'm
I'm comfortable. I'm
comfortable.
confident.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's like what's the famous Ricky Bobby? What do I do with my hands?
Yeah.
So
So let's talk about the Kirkwood School for Boys.
Thanks.
What is this? What are you doing?
So I'm going to take you back a little bit.
Okay.
And when I was in kindergarten, my mom started a school. So that started the whole thing pumping through my veins of you can take your education and make it whatever you want to make it. So fast forward, I have 4 sons and they're all super smart and awesome. But school was not fun for them. I want to make a school that will create awesome men and have a great time, where they're actually going to want to come to school because there's ninja obstacle courses, because Miss Becky actually cares that they learn, because each child has an individual curriculum assigned just for them. And I hold them to such a high standard. There's a huge difference when you hold a child to a high standard versus what people are referring to as gentle parenting right now. I kind of have a problem with that term, even though I like gentility, I like femininity, but to hold a child to a high standard does not seem to be a part of that definition of gentle parenting.
No.
Okay, I'm glad you agree on that. So what I have found is when I hold children, especially young men, to a high standard, they end up adoring me. Like they want to work hard for me. And this is 10 and under. And that's totally normal for a child to want to work hard for their teacher when they're under 10 years old. In middle school, the motive becomes different. It's more about impressing the girl next
Yeah, I was
to
gonna
you.
say it's gonna be about girls. That's the second.
There you
it's
go.
from
That's all
girls
they care about.
then on out.
Yeah, and from-
from then on out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I guess, it makes sense because
Right.
the teacher in the scenario is mainly a woman for 10 and unders because of the maternal nature of females.
That
So
makes sense.
yeah, that does make sense. So they holding the high standard is a huge part of my curriculum. And I'm classically trained in math and English. And so I bring in, classically trained. So there's a term called the trivium, and it's stands for 3 branches. So there are 3 branches of education. And that first one is for the primary age, 10 and under. And that's the one we're focusing on. And that first one is where you build an amazing soil for these children to grow in. Okay, so you're adding everything you can to that soil. You're adding all the facts, all the awesome historical stories you can add. You're adding all the basic math facts, science facts. Like some of my children have memorized the periodic table. Well, okay, so what good is that?
Right.
Well, I'll tell you what good, because if they can sing the periodic table song, then come middle school and mainly high school, if they are doing higher level science, they know exactly where the elements are on that periodic table and can refer to it in their head quickly instead of going like this, trying to remember what it is. So we memorize things through song. And again, you know what? Just like with gentle parenting, that word memorization has a bad reputation. And I would kind of want to just set that straight, because 10 and unders, love to memorize. Just think about all the songs. You have a 6, 7-year-old, 3-year-old, like they love to memorize songs.
Yeah, even my 1-year-old, that's just like he's like he knows his ABC song.
Thank you. Exactly. They love it.
Yeah.
So we put things to song. Like there's a song about Jupiter. There's a song about the continents. If we put things to songs, we might actually be able to become one of the smartest countries again.
Isn't that the premise of Miss Rachel?
Oh yeah,
Who's Miss Rachel?
Oh, Miss Rachel's a big person in our house. She's like a YouTube
teacher.
Like a YouTube, she's got like one of the biggest like kids YouTube channels out there, and she's all like in all the Targets and stuff now. Like now she's got like merchandise and stuff everywhere. But it's she was a teacher, and I believe one of her son or daughter had some learning disabilities, and so she started making videos for her I believe for her, I can't remember if it's her son or daughter, so that when she was at work she could play these videos or whatever. And and then so then she started posting them on YouTube, and she's grown to this giant page. I mean, she's got millions and millions and millions of subscribers.
Wow, that is.
I think some of her videos have like billions of plays. Like it's bananas
because kids are learning from them. They're memorizing the song.
My kid loves her. I mean, or my 1-year-old, even like early on, like he's still to this day, if he's ever crying or upset, like, and we can't figure out a way to calm him down, throw Miss Rachel on the TV, and it stops it immediately. He's got the biggest. We always say it's his girl. He's got the biggest crush on Miss Rachel because he loves her. And any video. I mean, we've seen. I mean, now she's on Netflix too. I mean, she's got like a bunch of her videos on Netflix. It's like huge.
Idea.
And my wife really likes it because a lot of my wife's a teacher as well, and and apparently my wife teaches special needs. And so she's like, a lot of the stuff that she teaches is very like, it is the right stuff. It's the stuff that they should be learning. She's teaching it the right way. And so she's created this incredible brand from it. And, but yeah, she's a big person in the, early childhood space.
I love that. Yeah. Thanks for telling me about her.
Yeah. Check her out. It might not be the most entertaining thing for you to watch, but it's a lot of songs and it's a lot of, songs and learning, and it's really cool.
Yeah,
that's the thing is like I mentioned it the other day on one of our shows that a lot of the Latino players that would come in, or even just foreign players in general from like China or Japan or Thailand or Taiwan, they would learn English by memorizing music. That's how American songs.
Yeah,
and I think back to it. I'm like, I know I can name all 50 states because of the state song.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Exactly.
It's crazy just how songs stick in our head. Because all of a sudden I'll hear a song that I haven't heard in 10, 15 years, but I'm like, how do I still know all the words to the song?
Mm-hmm.
And there I am singing along in my car, and I'm like, man, I haven't heard this song in a decade plus. I still remember the words to it.
So I'm going to throw out a theory that I kind of I'm working on, a working theory. Okay, so you've heard of superstrings and stranger things. The theory that Albert Einstein said about we're made up of superstrings, right? Okay, so music is made up of vibrations. And so the music, like, it comes at us in our same raw form. Okay, so that's why not just we can memorize things quicker, but also when we're working out and we hear our favorite song, those vibrations are hitting us in the way that we want to be hit. Mm. Okay, so I think that theory is.
Oh yeah, it's
is actually tested.
Music is like a drug that way.
There you go.
Like I could be going down, just having an all right workout, or maybe I'm running on the treadmill or doing whatever, but all of a sudden a good song comes on that fires me up. It's like I get like a second gear. And
it's
like
a second gear.
And I just.
I had a playlist that I would listen to before every start when I was playing baseball, because it would just get me so honed in and focused on what I needed to do that day.
Wouldn't it be cool to see your body like in a molecular whatever?
Right.
And what happens? Really cool. That would be really cool.
Yeah.
Or even more, not so much that, but just the brain.
Okay.
Baseball is such a mental game that you got to be so focused on especially as a pitcher, every single pitch, because you make one mistake and that ball is gone. Like they're going to crush it. And so, and it's and sometimes you can get away with some things, but ultimately I'd be very curious to see like being hooked up to like a monitor or something like that, measuring brain waves and things like that, and being able to see what part of the brain is activated and not, and then
during different songs.
Right. Well, that, but then just like,
that'd be cool.
Even before, but then like, all right, hey, this is Pat on a game he's not playing or pitching, and then here's Pat in his routine in the song in the playlist that he listens to prior to his start, and where my brain goes and how it focuses as soon as that first song hits.
Yeah, I want to see that too.
And it would be really,
I'm sure there's some
really cool
research out there regarding music and performance. I would almost imagine there has to be. There has to be.
I feel like there's stuff for everything out there. So I guarantee you there's one.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, it is like a drug. It'll definitely it gives you that second gear. It's awesome. It does something for us that, I mean, I can't explain it.
Yeah. So going back to the dojo with Jermaine Andre, he would never allow music to be played that had anything to do with, I guess, what is it? When somebody's repeating, but it's not in English and it sounds like it's some sort of curse. He always thought if he couldn't understand the words that the person was cursing him. And sorry, Jermaine, if you ever hear this, that's what it appeared to me. And so he would always have the music changed if it was some sort of, and so the music affected him. We could even tell, and he wasn't even striking, but it would just get him down, and we change it, and then immediately, he comes right back up.
Oh.
So, yeah.
So that's going to be the biggest premise around your school that's
just me having fun with ideas. But music will be a part of the school. I think music is just as important as math and English.
See, that's one thing I wish I would have gotten or taken more seriously growing up, or would have gotten into was music. I'm no musical talents whatsoever. I mean, I can play hot cross buns on the recorder, but that's about
I don't think many people can do that anymore.
That's about it. But no, I mean, I wish like my dad and my brother play the guitar. My brother was a violinist, like all these things, but I went sports. My brother went that route.
It's rare to do both.
I'm like, man, I wish I'd have picked up a guitar or learned an instrument when I was, but yeah.
So I'm 46 and I picked up a guitar last year, and the first thing that it teaches you to play is like the what's that from Jaws?
Jaws.
Yeah. Okay. I broke a string. Like, how do you break a string? First you have to tighten it, and I just was messing it all up. But I still have that guitar. I mean, I haven't put it off the list, but I think it is cool to,
Yeah, I played guitar growing up for 4 years, probably 4 or 5 years, and I was in a couple garage bands, and
nice.
but honestly, like once I started like taking sports seriously in high school, I just stopped, and that was probably about when I was like 16. And I still say, I'm like, one of these days I'm gonna pick it back up, and I have it sitting in the basement right now, just collecting dust.
Yeah.
But it's something I always like want to come back to, but it's just it's a time thing, I mean, we've only got so many hours in the day, and I already just do so many things that it's just like I gotta find that.
Yeah.
Just find an hour or a couple hours a week to sit down and pick on it, and just learn to play. Even just like I wrote a couple songs back in the day, but they were never any good. And like I just liked being able to pick up a guitar and play songs that people knew, and like
during Christmas time, you can just
or sitting around a
start
campfire
singing.
or whatever, like it'd just be cool to just be able to pull out a guitar and be able to riff 15 to 20 songs that people know. And I think that'd be just like a fun party trick.
Yeah. No, it's immediately we're gonna invite Zach to this party because he's gonna bring his guitar.
Right. But
yeah,
I'll get back to it one day, maybe.
Yep.
But it's just got to find the time.
Yeah.
Creativity that comes with it. That whatever part of the brain that's triggering. I mean, it's. I mean, I feel like people that are musicians are typically tend to be a little bit more, are smarter, I would say, in my mind. From what I've learned, and the people that I know that play instruments are typically extremely intelligent.
They're able to pick things up faster because their brain has practiced doing that with not just with the normal things in school, but also with music. And that's become part of their heart, I think. If they're doing that outside of school, they're getting even more practice with picking up patterns. And generally, if you are able to pick up patterns quickly, that's a sign of intelligence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, I just what I hesitate on, I guess, is I know myself, and I I get very obsessed with things and like kind of consume me, like kind of like an addictive personality, I would say.
Yeah.
And I know that if I started doing it again, then other things in my life
Something would drop.
I would have to drop something, and it's like, as of right now, I love everything that I do, and I just don't know if I have just the time. I mean, I know that it would take away from other things that I do. So
Honestly, you have 2 children?
2 children.
I can't even imagine doing everything you're doing already. So, yeah, I hear you.
With the real
But they would
estate
love to
and-
watch their dad play the guitar.
for sure. And I would
love
love to
it.
get them into music. And
Yeah.
honestly, like I was telling my wife the other day, I was like, I want them to play whatever, if they want to play an instrument, I want them to play whatever instrument they want, because like I always wanted to play the drums growing up, but it was I think my parents were very opposed to that, and I rightfully so,
as most
parents would be, and I don't blame them. But I will, still, like, you catch me in my car, I'm drumming on everything. It might not be very good, but it was something that I always wanted to do, and I want to be able to. If my kids want to play drums, or if they want to play the piano, they want to play guitar, they want to play violin, whatever it is, I don't care. I just want them. I would love for them to do something.
Yeah, it's important.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk more about the school. So
Well, it hasn't. So it'll open
Yeah.
in the summer.
Okay.
I'm going to have summer camp for the boys.
do you have a
And,
location?
Yeah, it's at the American Legion in Kirkwood,
Okay.
which is so freaking awesome because,
I've never been.
Where's that at? In-
well, so you guys know where Telio is?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right behind Telio.
Oh yeah, you know what? I know.
Really?
Yeah, I know exactly where it's at. Yeah.
It's just it's this one room. It's got a kitchen. It's got bathrooms. It's got plenty of room, And so I want to start with about 10 kids, and the veterans there were so cool. They're very supportive of it. Able to give me a contract right away, and I'm very happy with that location. We can do a field trip to the fire station, to the police station, to the park.
I mean, everything's right there.
Kirkwood is
Great.
Oh yeah, it's prime
You got
location.
Magic House too. Is not very far.
Magic House.
Yeah.
It's
Oh yeah,
Solid.
we're members. We go. That's
Look at you.
That's our rainy day activity.
Oh, for sure.
sure. Anytime it's raining, it's like us and everybody else in St. Louis
Yep.
decides to go there that day.
Yeah.
It's either there or the zoo. Yeah. So it opens in the summer. What you have 10 kids already signed up?
I have
or
no, I don't have any
okay.
kids signed up.
Okay.
I haven't really started marketing
Okay.
yet. And so these, I helped start a school in 2016. It's still going. It's a classical academy. It's called Lafayette Academy, and it's in Wentzville. So I was the first person on the board, and we grew it from nothing. She had 3 kids. I had 4 kids. We started out with 10 kids that first year, and 7 of them were ours. So it's a slow start, and that's okay. That's people are comfortable with public schools, not nearly as much now as back in 2016. So I think people are looking for alternative methods. They don't want to homeschool necessarily, but they're looking for those alternative. And my school, it'll feel like homeschool because it's so individualized.
We've had a lot of guests on here so far that have been big proponents of homeschooling.
I've heard a lot
Yeah.
that you guys have been talking
Yeah,
to.
we've had, I don't know, probably 20, 25 people.
Something like
here.
that. Yeah, we've had a
That all
lot.
More and more,
Yeah.
I mean,
especially in
it's
Missouri.
become very popular. Like, I mean, my next door neighbor's there's literally, there's 2 or 3 people on my street that homeschool,
Wow.
and I live over here in South County. So it's
They
like,
used to be thought of as weird.
yeah,
Now they're going to run the world.
it's just becoming more and more popular. And and it's just, I guess people are, losing their faith in the public education, and it's, it's sad to see, but it is what it is.
Well, I mean, when you got kids coming out and they don't know how to, balance a checkbook or even write a check, or now even how to sign their names because they're not
Wow.
learning cursive anymore.
Right.
That's one thing. I don't know. I just don't think school in general, whether it be college and your degree, really, I don't think it ever really prepares you for the real life.
That's an excellent point. And that actually brings up, I mentioned the trivium. So the next part of the trivium, talking about being prepared for life, is the middle school ages, where children naturally ask why. And if you're doing a classical education, you lean into that. Every single why that child asks, if they've had an appropriate 0 to 10 years of being fed as much as possible and acting like sponges, then their questions of whys, we lean into. We answer them. That's when child-led makes a lot more sense than at the earlier ages. So child-led middle schooler could actually get a degree in college. You hear about that, but I see that it is definitely possible. And then the third part of the trivium is high school, where they're actually coming up with their own opinions. It's a stage where they can just defend their opinions as well. So,
well, I think that's another problem too. Is like, I think kids aren't being taught how to think for themselves. I think they're being told what to think.
Yeah.
And it now you've created a society that's all conforming to one idea and one thought process instead of being able to think outside the box for themselves.
Yeah. And to piggyback on that, they think anything other than what they've been taught
Is wrong.
and you should die.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Shit, you see it every day. And if your social media or the news or whatever is telling you one thing, and you got one group of people that are like, "Oh, this is gospel," the other gospel, and they're both wrong. That side's gonna hate the other side's gonna hate the other. And it's just like, no, there's no outside acceptance on thought.
So biographies, when I think about humility and being able to accept other people's way of living, those two things go hand in hand in my book. And so we read a lot of biographies to find out that our way is not necessarily the only way to live. And there's a lot of right ways to live. So humility is one of those qualities that I stumble on. Like, can you teach humility? Not really, but you can put things in your curriculum that paves a pathway to being a humble person. And, generally we all fail at being humble, because then at the end of the day, if we were, then we're proud about, I was humble today.
Sure.
So it doesn't really work.
Yeah, I don't think you can teach humility. I think you have to experience it. Or you have to go through something that gives you it. You have to earn it. You kind of have to earn it almost. You have to go through something really hard and realize that you don't know everything. And that kind of what makes you, the biggest thing for that for me has been martial arts. I'm humbled on a daily basis.
Nice example.
For sure.
Yeah.
You can't go in there and expect to be, the toughest, you got plenty of guys that do come in and think that they're the toughest guy in the world and with no training behind them whatsoever. And then they find out pretty quickly that they're not. And, it's that has taught me more humility than anything else in my whole life, for sure. Easily.
Yeah. And it's good to have that daily basis. Like, you're putting yourself, even though you're comfortable doing those moves and doing martial arts, you're still putting yourself in a position where you may lose.
Oh, every day.
That might be a good definition of humility, actually. Because most people, if they're not humble, they're not going to put themselves in a position where they might lose.
True. Yeah, if I just go and roll with the brand new white belts all day, I'm never going to lose. But the second I go get paired up with a black belt, probably going to lose. Chances are, unless
What are you?
I'm purple.
Where's purple?
Right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
Okay.
White,
white,
blue, purple, brown, black. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So I've been doing it for 7 years, and I'm definitely not the best guy in the room, that's for sure. But I'm in that middle to upper end for sure, depending on who's in the class that day.
Mm-hmm.
But I could, if I want to have an easy day and not be humbled, I could go with the new people. But if I want to really,
I'm humbled every time I step in there. I get my ass kicked
Do you really?
all the time.
What color are you?
White. I just started. I did a 3-month thing last year, but really kind of dove into it this year. So I guess I'm about really 6 months into it now.
Nice.
Yeah. Just 6 months of just getting my ass kicked.
Nice.
Yeah.
Of being humbled.
Absolutely.
Yeah, getting humbled.
I think I already had that going in. It helps, he's been pushing me to go for a while now, and kind of, and the guests that we've had on, and they're always talking about how humbling it is. So I already went in knowing that, hey, I'm going to get my ass kicked, but I also think it helps having been an athlete and having played sports at a very high level, especially a sport like baseball, where it's built around failure, that you get humbled constantly.
Good point.
So,
yeah.
Honestly, I think
you fail definitely 75% of the time. Baseball, or I don't know what is it.
If you're good,
if you're good, yeah.
If you're good, you're batting 250, right?
253. Well, yeah. Now I don't know what damn sports changed so much, but when I was playing, like, to be a Hall of Famer, had to hit 300. So you're failing 70% of the time.
There it is.
And so, but yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. The same thing like with pitching too. Like I said, I mean, you make one little mistake, those hitters are so good, you're going to pay for it. So you have to learn how to, keep your emotions in check. Like, hey, I can make a perfect pitch too, and it might just be to that guy's sweet spot, and he barrels the ball, and you just have to tip your cap and move on. And so, yeah, I mean, it's a game built on failure, and very, very humbling game. And I mean, that's the thing. Like, I was, my last year, I was 27, and I'm playing against kids that are 18, 19, 20 years old, and they're really good. And so you're just getting beat by these kids that are younger than you, and it's just like, oh, okay. That's when it's like, all right, I think it's time to
Maybe it's time
to hang them up. But no, I mean, yeah, I think between that and then,
Isn't that interesting? The idea of you're not allowed to fail is now hand in hand with gentle parenting.
Well, so that's the thing that drives me nuts is for me, like, everybody's afraid to fail. Like, that's a thing now, or that's always been a thing, a fear of failure.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have been able to make it as far as I did, and Zach wouldn't have been able to make it as far as he has with jujitsu or anything like that if we were afraid to fail.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, people look at it, and I got into it with the guy on another podcast where he's like, well, if I fail, I'm a loser. I'm like, no, you're only a loser if you let that failure define you. If you're not learning from it and getting better from it, then yeah, you're a loser.
Yeah.
But that's the thing I think people aren't working on or teaching these days is, okay, yeah, you failed, but let's learn from it. I mean, was it Thomas Edison? I mean, I didn't fail 10,000 times. Yeah. I just learned 10,000 ways not to make a light bulb.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, it's just that mindset shift and with being able to take any hardships or failures and turn them into a lesson and a learning experience and moving forward from there.
So parents are taking failure out of the equation, right?
Right.
First time I saw it was
everybody gets a medal.
But 20 years ago, we're in a 3-year-old class, okay? And we're playing musical chairs. Everybody knows this game. Everybody has a chair. You walk around, music stops, you sit down. But there's one chair less than the amount of students, right? That's the way it's supposed to be played.
So somebody's a loser.
Somebody's a loser. When we played it, nobody took the chair away. And so the music's gone. Kids are walking around.
There's even chairs to kids.
Yeah. I go to take a chair out, and they're like, no, Becky, no. Why would you take a chair out? Well, isn't that how the game's played? No, we don't have losers anymore. Nobody failed. I was like, so what are we doing?
Why are we just we're walking in a circle, listening to music, waiting to sit down?
So
there's no game aspect of this.
Well, and I think that was a big thing too. Was
so ridiculous. Wow,
yes, I know.
A lot of it goes. I mean, not to get political here, but that no child left behind. Yeah. And now there's no grades until they get to middle school, I think is what it is. I mean,
and even then, teachers can't fail
Right.
kids. Even in high school, you're not allowed to.
Because no kid can be left behind.
So kids can't get held back anymore?
No. Oh my gosh, no.
Oh,
they
man.
don't. Not that I disagree. I mean, we do not hold kids accountable within the school system, public or private. I mean, sad to say, I know private schools that will not hold kids back that definitely need to be held back. As a matter of fact, social and character education, while it should be happening within the academic classes, they've separated that out. And so because social education has become so more important than academics, then as long as the child knows how to be kind, let's move them along. It has blown my mind, and probably is a lot of fuel for the fire to start my own school.
I mean, it's because I mean, I don't know if colleges are that, but I knew that like when I was in school and when I was going to college, one of the reasons why I picked Missouri State was because I knew I wanted to kind of, there was two avenues that I was thinking about, and one of them was teaching, and I know that they have a very good teaching school down there.
Nice.
And the other one is business school. And their to graduate from their business school, their standard GPA is higher than most. I don't know if that's changed to accommodate this, because I mean, I know that like I knew that going in, like I was going to have to bust my ass. in order to make sure, like, I couldn't just skate by and do it. Like C for business, C does not get you a business degree at Missouri State.
Nice.
Like I was having to maintain a more towards a B C average than just C's.
Not easy to do as an athlete.
No, not at all. And so, yeah, I mean, like my last semester, because of where I was at, I had to go back and I had to I was ahead because I went into school with so many credit hours. But I had to retake a class my last semester of school so I could take that from being a C to a B.
Wow.
So I could graduate. So
there
I
you
could,
go.
But you don't see, I don't know.
No, you don't see that.
You don't see that anymore.
No, they just let you through.
Yeah.
And honestly, I can't speak to the college level.
Right. I don't know either about that either. But yeah, I mean, I know that if that's the way that things are going and colleges stay the same, kids are going to have a problem.
It's not going to prepare them for the real world.
No.
I mean, what are they going to do when they get to college? Like, oh, wait, I thought I just passed if I just signed up for the course.
Well,
or prepare.
That's basically what it seems like.
They're like, that was so hard at the paperwork.
Yeah, I had to sign up and I should just get it.
I had to sign my name and I'm just so confused on how the lines and letters connect.
Yeah, like it just that doesn't make any sense.
No, it's crazy.
You will be happy to know that cursive has been put back into the curriculum of most places.
Okay, good.
That's
I don't
good.
really use cursive anymore, but other than to sign my name, if I'm writing on paper, which is rare, I print. But I
have a hybrid.
Yeah,
I like to.
Same.
I like to add it on. Yeah,
same.
I just my handwriting's just awful. It's never.
Oh, don't tell me that.
I mean, it's bad, but like the crazy thing is like I was pretty artistic growing up. Like I used to draw a lot and stuff. So like if I wanted to take my time, I could, but I just like when I'm writing, like handwriting, I feel like my brain is working so much faster than my hand can, and my hand's just trying to keep up with my brain, and I'm like, I don't want to lose my thoughts, so I'm just trying to skip words. Yeah, I skip words, or I can type so much faster than I can write. But I just my handwriting's horrible. So.
Anytime because I handwrite all my loan applications when I'm talking to people. I write everything down.
You have nice handwriting.
And so, I have to, so everybody can read it. Can't go mixing up numbers on a social security number. That'd be bad.
Yeah, that would be
bad. But no, I noticed that like when I'm writing my H and E will always be cursive.
There you go. I like that.
My M's and N's are usually always a cursive M and N. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's usually, but I'm the same way.
You're a hybrid.
Yeah, hybrid.
I like doing that. Everything I do when I write my children's books, everything starts out on paper. I cannot be creative on a computer screen with it. Yeah, I like to just sit down.
I'm the same way. Like people, we had the musician in here the other day, and we've had other ones on here where they're writing their music on their phone in their notes, and they're like, yeah, well, I'm writing out my songs and all that, and I'm like, are you actually writing, or is it on your phone? Like for me, like I have to write, like I have to actually physically write. I can't type.
You left-handed?
Yeah, I do everything left-handed except throw baseball.
Oh my gosh, that's so weird.
Yeah, so he always says if he'd still be playing, if he could throw as good with his left as he could with his right.
I'd have been in the big leagues a long time ago.
So did you learn to throw a baseball before you learned to write?
No.
Huh.
No, my parents told me that when I was little, I would stand in front of the TV and the Cardinals games would be on, and I would just mimic what I saw on TV, and I just happened, I guess, to see. You see more right-handed
behind the pitcher.
Yeah, see more right-handed pitchers than left-handed pitchers. So I just was naturally just started going right-handed. Now, like I said, I kick left-footed. I'm left side dominant on most things. So
you left-handed in hockey too?
No, in hockey I shoot right-handed, but I'm pretty good at stick handling because you're top hand.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean,
so I have got more control. So I have more control with my stick and stick handling because I am left hand dominant, and that's usually the hand that you're stick handling, like controlling the puck with.
Oh, I know little about hockey. That was a lot for me.
So, but yeah, no, I mean that's the thing is no, I think that's helped me along the way because it's using both sides of my brain.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So back to your school. So it's going to open in the summer next year.
2026.
2026.
Yeah, and then the actual school year will start in the fall.
Okay.
And I would love to have 10 3-year-olds running around just so I can all start them at the same spot. I'm big into phonograms with the kids. We already talked about this. Memorize so fast. So if we can get them to memorize the 71 sounds of the English language, I know you guys are about to fall asleep, but just for a second, there's only 71 sounds. And so they memorize that so fast within a month, they can start reading. If they know all those different sounds, they can start reading. It is.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going through that right now with both my kids.
Nice.
Reading. And it is, I love them. It is funny listening to them like try and phonetically sound out words.
It is.
Yeah. It's like it's
Tahi.
like tahi. Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, no, that's the. But then it's like we get into stuff and it's like read versus read.
Oh, I know.
Like the English language is tough. Like, have you ever seen those videos on
Yes.
where it's like
The OUGH.
yeah, the OUGHs and yeah, it's
So these are all the sounds of OUGH. O, U, uff, off, ah, ow. So those are all the different sounds that those 4 letters make when they're next to each other. Yeah.
it's crazy.
It is crazy.
Yeah,
and
you just got to know the right one, which is
you practice yeah, it's true. I mean, there's ways around it to actually think about it scientifically, but most of the time it's memorization. You just know.
yeah, you just know from when that word comes up in the context it's being used in a sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll do that. And 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds. The best thing I think that I can offer is that the physical challenges go right along with the mental challenges. We're not going to do recess after just because they played hard. We're going to worked hard. Working hard and playing hard, they go hand in hand. Like a boy needs to be able to stand up and do his work after he does 10 somersaults. Why not? And then we can teach the importance of breathing. And here's something like Jermaine taught me that you should never let anybody see you struggle. So imagine, and I will get back to the classroom, but imagine for a moment being in a dojo, doing the conditioning, and everybody's lying on the ground doing 6 inches with their legs, right? Well, I hadn't done 6 inches in years, and so, my face is all screwed up. I'm like, all these faces you can make when you want people to know you're working hard. And I didn't realize, and Jermaine just says to everybody in the dojo, he's like, guys, you're struggling. Don't let me know. You never wanted anybody to know that you are really struggling here. And so I immediately calmed my face, and all that energy I was putting in to screwing up my face, I pushed down into, my core. And I mean, that really works. And so when I think about in the classroom, a student who has just done 50 jumping jacks, he's going to be breathing hard. And so he comes and sits down and he has to write, ant, cat, all the 3-letter words, and he's breathing heavy. Right then is such a perfect time to teach. Don't let anybody know you're struggling, unless there's an emergency.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, we're all about safety here.
Right.
Nobody's going to die on my watch. But let's learn breath control. Let's talk about what it means to be a ninja. And nobody knows you're struggling or that you're right behind the corner or you're playing hide and seek and you don't want anybody to find you. Breath you get. Now write your word. And they write 5 words, and then they do whatever the next obstacle course is. And then it's all a part of it. And they can't wait to see how many words they can write or how many times they can do the jumping jack and then go back and forth, back and forth. They love this. I know 5-year-olds just eat this up. And then you're watching them and they're like, is she still watching? Kids want their mom and dad to watch them do everything. It's the same thing with the teacher in the classroom. So heck yeah, I'm watching. I love watching them be able to do all this stuff and they want to perform. So you guys can tell that's kind of I get very happy about the idea of creating a school that my own sons would have loved, really would have excelled in.
And how old are your sons?
I have, that's my next favorite thing, or my first favorite thing to talk about. So I have a 21-year-old. He's a freaking stud. He's 6'3", almost probably, I don't know, 275. Sorry, Parker, I don't remember
Jeez.
how much you weigh, but he's D2 football
Nice.
with the
Rep.
mastermind of an engineer. And so,
Is he at Rolla?
yeah, no, he's at William Jewell.
Oh, okay.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I know that.
He's really cool. So, he's doing great. Then my second son will be 20 December on Christmas Eve. He was born, and he is at Tulane.
Okay.
He got the ROTC scholarship, and he's an Eagle Scout. So
This is the one
he's
you
freaking stud.
wanted to get into MMA, or the one that wanted.
He's
to
the one, yeah, that wanted to get into. He's into MMA, and let's see, he's Marine option down there. And then I have a 9th grader, and he's doing freshman basketball and football, and he's 6'7". Sorry to bring up those two numbers, but he actually is 6'7", and 15 years old. He's at Kirkwood High.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So his agility hasn't, is
Caught up
still
to his,
right
the
there,
length,
that.
his length.
Yeah.
Like a baby giraffe running.
Thank you.
Trying to coordinate. His coordination's not quite there.
It's so awesome that he got on the team, because he's not the fastest. He's not anything.
But
except,
hey, just go post up underneath
Could
the
you just-
net
Yeah.
and just put your hand up in the air.
Yeah.
We'll get you the ball.
Yeah. Yeah, especially in high school, man.
Yeah.
6'7". That's crazy.
man, yeah. So
You said he's a freshman. Yeah.
I know. I'm sorry.
No, my boys do that all the time, especially now that they're 6 and 7. They're like,
Oh,
6, 7.
That's
I'm like,
awesome. I know. I get it too much.
I'm
It's
sure you
so
do.
funny. And then, so it's really fun to walk around with him, because he has to bend down,
Get indoors and stuff.
just in case. It's
Yeah.
so fun. And he has a size 18 shoes.
Holy
Oh
shit.
my gosh.
Sailboats. Jeez.
It's like
My shoe could fit inside of his.
So I tell people, like,
Walking
tutor
around
on the
with
side.
those
Flippers.
on.
Yes, I know. Can you imagine? And poor guy, like, what bed? I'm not going to give him a king size bed. He's 15. He doesn't deserve that.
Right.
So he's in
A
one
king
of those.
size bed isn't even going to fit him. I have a king size bed and my feet hang off. And I'm not 6'7".
That's crazy.
Yeah, so his feet hang off. It's so great. He's such a good boy. And then I have my 7th grader, and he's probably going to be the philosopher. He's the one that will talk about intellectual things with me and keep me company. So I know you.
awesome.
Yeah, you open a can of worms and you ask me about my sons. They're just my favorite people on the earth. Yeah.
Now, you mentioned your second oldest being in Eagle Scouts and all that. So, which is something that I'm going through with my boys right now. And then I actually had a kid that I coached that I had to write a letter for, so he could become. I don't know what the term is, but currently an Eagle Scout, and I have to write some sort of recommendation.
Yeah, for sure.
But are you, because I know that's a lot of hands-on, a lot of outdoor stuff. Is that stuff that you're going to kind of bring into the school? I don't know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I highly recommend Boy Scouts, because getting your Eagle Scout,
It's
first
a huge
of all,
honor.
it's still a huge honor in our society.
I hear people, I'm like, oh, I'm an Eagle Scout. I'm like, oh shit, this is somebody that I want to.
Well, it just shows that you took something really seriously
Right.
for a long time.
Yes,
and they don't give
exactly.
that away.
And I was, when Mason said he wants to get his Eagle Scout, he was 13, 14. And normally you need more than 4 years to get your Eagle Scout. But he jumped in. And the thing about him, and we were a part of a homeschool Boy Scout troop. So it was all boys. You know how they're changing it.
Yeah.
But this one, we looked for an all-boy scout troop. And then the men who were the leaders of this troop, awesome role models. Mason has had amazing role models. His dad is an awesome man as well. So it is very hands-on. And you can tell, I took on several roles in there, and I could tell the kids whose parents did the Eagle Scout for them. And you can tell the difference between that Eagle Scout and this one. And pretty soon, it's going to tip. Most kids, you'll see that the parents have taken over, and those Eagle Scouts are, they're no good. They didn't earn that. But I watched, I made sure, and nobody did it except for Mason. He did his own, and that is huge. I think with my school, I'll either, I can't make something a requirement, but the problem with kids are just so over scheduled And then I was talking to my brother who has 4 daughters. How strange is that? I have 4 sons, he has 4 daughters.
Yeah.
But he's like, if you don't schedule the time for your children, then they'll just be on their phones otherwise. Because, and you know, all 3 of us are probably thinking, yeah, but you can just take the phone. Da, da, da. Well, there's lifestyles out there where it doesn't allow. I mean, I take my son's phones for sure all the time, but you know, it's just like, that's why so many families are scheduling so much to keep the kids occupied so they don't fall back on reels. And it's sad, but that was the solution. Parents aren't going to take the phone. So, okay, well, I'm just going to schedule you more, you know, okay, let's do this. And then there's no homework from school. That's, you know, unless you're going to an awesome Catholic school. I am a huge proponent of Catholic schools. They do a great job in St. Louis, but there's not a lot of homework.
There's no homework?
There's not a lot of homework.
Really?
There's just not a lot of homework anymore. And if there were, I wouldn't even know it because everything's on the computer.
Yeah.
Like, prove to me you've done your homework. That's what I get. I know what that means.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So Boy Scouts is awesome.
Yeah. I was a Weeblo. I was a Weeblo,
Nice.
I think is what I was.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I stopped it when I 7th or 8th grade. I couldn't remember why.
Well, what do you think is one of the best lessons that your sons learned through going an Eagle Scout?
I truly think it's having those men role models and giving them advice along the way, telling them, don't give up. It's the Winston Churchill, never, never, never give up. That's what I think it is when it comes to it. Like earning the badges, you might learn actually how to tie knots. You might learn the importance of being a citizen in the community. But it's the act of having a goal. You know where you're going. You know what you have to do to get there.
That, and I feel like, because I know writing that letter, they had their pillars or core values that.
Yeah,
that,
for sure.
Like, I'm sure that, like, because I know that's kind of a lost thing is people having core values and having those things that they live by. And I know that was one of the things that, you know, we've talked about earlier this year. I mean, that was, you know, I was going through, I guess you could call it maybe like a burnout on where I was with my job and with baseball and coaching and all that. I just had so much on my plate that I was just like, gee. And I just sat back one day and I'm just like, all right, I need to dive into my core values and really just narrow these down. And, you know, and now it's something that I have on my phone. It's something that I
Tell me, what are they?
Well,
nice. Zach's over there thinking, do I have any core values?
Yeah, I was like, don't ask me for mine because I don't have mine written down. I could figure it out. Give me a little, yeah. Be nice. Be a good guy.
So being accountable. So we take responsibility for our actions and deliver on the promises and owning the outcomes with transparency and dedication. Courageous. We face challenges head on, embracing risk and change with boldness and resilience. We're compassionate. We act with empathy, kindness, and respect, valuing every individual and fostering a culture for care. We're dependable. We are reliable and consistent, earning trust through our unwavering commitments. Honest. We will communicate openness and authenticity, building trust through truth and fairness. We're going to be curious. We pursue growth with an open mind and always seek to learn and explore and improve. Integrity. We do what is right, even when it's hard, upholding our principles in every decision. We're going to remain loyal. We are devoted to our team, our mission, and our community, standing by those we serve with steadfast support. And we're going to be a leader. We inspire by example, empowering others, taking initiative, and striving to make a difference.
Yeah.
They're good.
So tell me, you got those a part of your life. That became your North Star, your guiding principles. And what changed?
Just my mindset on things, just the way I looked at the world around me, looked at handling objectives, handling just anything that was thrown at me, and being able to just fall back on those and just be like, hey, listen, this is okay. How can I apply my core values to this? Yeah.
Instead of reactionary life, you became purposeful.
Yeah.
Intentional.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
that's what I learned in raising boys. If I wanted to do it intentionally, I had to figure out what it meant to be a man. And I have very similar ones, but I don't have them defined as well as you do. but mine were, there's 6: honest, have faith, hardworking, um, accept responsibility, lead courageously, and I really like this last one: resist passivity.
I
And
like that.
and it was from this book called Raising the Modern Day Knight that was given to my children's dad, my ex-husband, by his best friend. And so Raising the Modern Day Knight, in it, they say resist passivity is a good quality for manhood because they're referencing Adam and Eve. And they're like, hey, do you actually think that Adam didn't know that Eve was getting an apple from that tree, from the forbidden tree? Do you think Adam didn't know what his wife was doing? Like, how big was this place?
This garden.
Yeah, this garden. And so the point is, Adam knew, and he remained passive and quiet. And so, I don't know if I'm going to be the first one to admit it, but women screw up all the time. And we do need a man in our lives to say, hey, come here. I want to talk to you about that tree you just picked, that apple you just picked from the tree. We're not going to eat that. Okay. Thanks for wanting to feed me and give me the best food. We're not going to eat that. So that's what I love. I love men because you guys tend to be so like this. What do we call this?
Consistent.
Steady.
Yeah, I'm not this. So whatever the word is for that, I like this, and when there's a man in my life that is like this, I become less of this, of up and down, up and down. My roller coaster slope decreases and I'm a better person. I'm still like this, but I'm a better person.
Less extreme.
Yeah.
There we go. I love that. The North Star is so huge to me in raising boys because they could sit and play video games forever. That is so not girl-like. And so I don't understand, I'll just be reading and reading and I'm like, oh shoot, I've been playing video games all afternoon. Okay, let me check my North Star. Are we doing all these things? No, we're not. Let's go get the chores done. Let's, so yeah, that's. So how often do you look at your core values?
I would say at least once a month, at the very minimum once a month.
Yeah.
Depending on where I'm at and what's going on, it might be a little bit more frequent. But yeah, that's
okay. So if you were to start a school, would you have them surrounded on those core values?
Yeah.
How would you bring them in?
I would be putting kids through, situations where they're having to practice those things, practice those core values. I mean, it's easy for me to sit here and tell them what they are, but until you can actually give them a real life example or meaning, it's just words on a piece of paper.
So true. So like we could do one per month or one per quarter.
Yeah.
It's
something like that. Yeah.
And maybe even, and actually I might do this now that it's just bringing up, but maybe one per month and everything we do in every class touches back to that core.
No. And then every month that you move on, add another core value, but you can keep the previous one in there at some point. So as you go through the year, you've got all your core values aligned. So they're not just like, oh, well, did that one, time to forget it.
Right.
So.
Yeah. There was a time when I was homeschooling my younger two and we were doing history. And I don't know, history is like, let's follow all the wars. We're going to learn the battle. We're going to do, and I was getting tired of it because they were actually fighting a lot too. I was like, what if we had peacemaker role models that we were talking about who could actually, maybe my kids will become peaceful. That actually did not happen, but we did do a peacemaker curriculum. And so we learned about peacemakers throughout history and how they affected the different wars that we would have been learning about anyway. It
Well,
was
I mean,
really
it's like the art of war. I think in order for you to be peaceful, you have to be dangerous.
nice. It's true.
That's true. You have to know what violence is and how that can affect somebody to know that that's probably not something that I want to do to somebody. Like, for example, you know multiple ways that you could seriously hurt somebody. How often are you wanting to actually do that?
Never. I mean, like,
Case in point, that was awesome.
yeah, I mean,
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
I don't ever put myself in situations where
Well, the first thing you're going to do if you are in a situation is probably what? Try and
I'm going
de-escalate
to
it.
de-escalate, and I mean, I'd rather not get into a fight than get into a fight.
Right.
I'm going to avoid a fight. The fight is an absolute last resort. Like
Yeah.
I have no, that's not going to be the first thing I jump to. I'm
I'm
most
going
certainly
to
going to try to de-escalate it and and get away more than I would. And fighting is the last option.
Yeah.
Did you grow up fighting?
No, I mean, I was in a handful of fights in
Just a handful.
a handful, not a
Okay.
lot, a couple in high school and, like one or two in college, like nothing serious or crazy.
Yeah.
I wrestled in high school,
Nice.
played football in high school, but I never was not like I had a lot of friends that got into a lot of fights, and that was usually the reasons I ended up getting into a fight, just to
Oh, okay.
help friends, and because it usually never turns into a one-on-one situation, especially at like a high school party, it's like
Right.
everybody jumps in.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know, not in a lot of fights.
So generally, I think what I'm hearing you say is the more you know about,
The bad
yeah,
and the damage that it can cause, the more likely you are to not want to do that.
I mean, there's so many repercussions nowadays. I mean, like, especially with, everybody's got a camera in their pocket. I mean, it's just things it can be viewed. So it can take, it could be taken out of context and, they catch the wrong part of the fight or whatever it is. Or, I mean, especially if you're in a fight just out in public somewhere on concrete. I mean,
Right.
it's like
You hit one person, they hit their head wrong.
yeah, they
they're-
bounce their head off the concrete and then they're dead.
Yeah.
Like that happens all the time. Like it really does. And I mean, if you really have a problem with somebody, then you should go do it in a sanctioned event where things can get or like things aren't going to get too out of hand.
Well, I mean,
Mhm.
because this whole show, a lot of the show, we talk about manhood, and part of my definition of that is to be a true man is a violent person, but has the emotional intelligence to know not to use it.
that's awesome.
I mean I know when I'm, the fights and everything that I've been associated with in my life, the person that I'm scared of is the person that's quiet, standing in the back. He's the one that's got himself under cool, calm, and collected
Because he's been here before.
because he's been here before.
And I think that's definitely one thing that martial arts has taught me. It's I mean, it doesn't if you're getting all jazzed up and jacked up, that's not the right. You're using that energy. That's you've only got so much
Wasted.
energy to use. You're wasting it. If you're the one kind of jumping around and be acting all crazy, it's really the guy that should be you should be conserving your energy.
Absolutely.
How do you teach that then? How can I bring that into my school?
I mean, that's teaching a martial art.
Yeah, teaching
I think.
jujitsu.
I think
It's one of the better ways of doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to experience it.
Yeah, you have to do it in order to understand it.
Because you can read about, I could go read 20 books on baseball. It's not going to make me a better baseball player.
Yeah,
I gotta go pick up the ball and throw it around and play baseball.
Right.
I can't, reading and talking about the concepts are one thing. And I mean, sure, you might get something out of that, but you're not really going to get you're not really going to develop the skills that you need until you're actually practicing.
I
it.
agree.
Well, that, and especially with talking about, violence and peace. I mean, I can watch jujitsu on YouTube all day long, but I don't know, like, if I'm not actually on the brink of blacking out because I'm getting choked out, or someone's on the brink of snapping my arm, I'm not going to know what that truly feels like.
And how you would respond to it.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
But I can watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But unless you're doing it, you're not going to really truly understand it.
Okay, so you know how in homeschooling you can learn a lot in a little bit of time, especially because you're not doing all the other stuff,
right?
Managing classrooms. Okay, so what if we've talked about music is just as important, and now is MMA? No, excuse me, is martial arts? And what form of martial arts would you recommend? And is it just as important to you guys as music and math?
I honestly think at that age, just because just from the conversations that we've had with people that are very high level belts in jiu-jitsu, they talk about wrestling, having a foundation, and you started as a wrestler, but having that foundation as a wrestler. I remember growing up and being in high school, like if there ever was a fight, I really hoped if there was a wrestler on my side.
Really?
For sure.
Oh, and you can see it.
Things go to the ground fast.
Correct.
Yeah,
Okay.
and you have the ability to dictate where the fight goes.
Correct.
You know, if you want to take it to the ground, you can.
Okay.
You know, and you can see it in today's like judo. Judo's become a really big thing in terms of a mixed martial art, just because one, it's teaching you how to get somebody to the ground, and then how to quickly put them into some sort of submission. Because I think judo, you're only allowed 60 seconds on the ground before you have to stand back up.
From my understanding, it's once the movement stops, they stop
Gotcha.
it. So like, you know, say you hit the ground and there's like a position where both guys aren't moving, then they stop it. But as long as there's constant movement, they allow it to progress. But the second that there's any point where
stalemate,
they're not moving anywhere and they're just kind of on top of each other, then that's when they
Okay, so judo is a form of martial arts.
Yeah, it's a grappling martial art. I mean, it's one of the oldest ones, honestly.
You're throwing people, getting people to the ground.
It's like wrestling, but you can't, like, the best way I guess you could describe it, and there's a lot of other rules to it, but like it's like wrestling, but you can't. And wrestling is typically where I'm trying to go in and grab one of your legs and take you to the ground that way. Yeah. Whereas judo, it's like pretty much all like upper body grips. Like I'm grabbing your upper body and I'm throwing you essentially.
Using your body as leverage, and a lot of it is with your hips, positioning your hips in a way that you can manipulate the other person's body to get them to essentially go flying.
That sounds like wrestling.
Yeah,
it's very similar.
Very similar.
But judo is traditionally done in a gi, versus wrestling is not.
Yeah,
but but again, uniform. I think that's where wrestling, I feel like in real life scenarios becomes more effective, is because you're not in a gi when you're out and about and in public. You're usually in regular clothes, which, I mean, having only trained in gi, it's easy to like grab a hold of someone's lapels. I've got a really, really good grip. And I know that if I can clasp down on that, it's gonna be really tough for them to break that. Whereas if I'm in if somebody's grabbing a like, that's not going to be nearly as thick or as strong as someone's t-shirt. It's just going to rip right off. And now you're, so like, I don't know.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
So that's why I'm saying, like, maybe, if you're going to teach anything, the fundamentals of wrestling.
Okay.
Wrestling or jiu-jitsu.
Or jiu-jitsu.
I would say either one. I think those would be good. Great things to teach young kids.
Or even just add in gymnastics. Because
I know, right?
That's, I think,
foundational for both of those.
Totally.
So I can tell the difference between both of my boys. Connor is my oldest. He's an athlete. He's very athletic. Oliver is athletic, but he's more of my artistic child. He likes to color. He likes to draw. He likes to build things. I put him in front of a Lego set, and the kid's a wizard.
Nice.
But Connor, we got him into little kid gymnastics when he was a toddler. And we did the same thing with Oliver, but Oliver just had zero interest in it. And the coordination between the two is incredible. How much more coordinated Connor is versus Oliver.
Yeah.
And I think, and that was the thing. And it was about 2-3 years old when we were doing that with him.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you're going to see it now that you've got Theo and that, what is
Kid Strong.
Kid Strong, yeah. You're going to see Theo start to develop that coordination that Calvin already has. And I think that's huge too.
Yeah, early age. I work at this school right now I'm helping out at. It's called Agape Adventure Academy in Crestwood, and it's all outside. And in there is a girl who's a gymnast. And so we have bars, we have a playground. They spend a lot of time on it. And she's so young. She's 6, and her strength, her agility, and her confidence in who she is already.
It was probably heads and tails
above.
Oh yeah,
because she can do everything.
Yeah.
And she goes to like early morning practices. It's so good for children to have that.
Absolutely.
Let's get an awesome routine at an early age.
Oh yeah,
it teaches discipline early.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, just body awareness, body control. I mean, that's something that I really didn't have a ton of experience with until I got into wrestling. I didn't do any gymnastics or anything as a kid or anything like that.
No, I wish that's something that I would have gotten into. I probably, at a younger age or at any age, really. Because I think back to sports that I played, it would have been extremely helpful.
And now kids are playing sports, I don't know, right out of the womb.
Yeah, pretty much.
They can sign up for all the good and bad. Some of it's really, I think it's good, but there is a level of too much. So I remember I started swimming very young, and I had to have, I think I've always been a very emotional female, and I had to have the discipline really just hammered into me because I retaliated. I did not want to. I was super good, but I did not want to. I would actually go into the locker room and bang my nose against the wall because the only thing that would keep you out of the pool is blood.
Oh,
yeah.
Weren't you almost an Olympic swimmer?
I was told the coaches were like, don't let Becky quit. She's going to be our next Olympic swimmer. And honestly, to this day, I knew I was always winning, but it was just like, I didn't want to, but I needed my dad and my mom to be like, you're going to stick with this and just do it kindly. You're going to stick with this. I hated piano more. So, eventually they let me quit piano, but I can still play, but, what happened was my mom got pregnant with a surprise child 10 years younger than I am. And so there was just too much going on. So I got to quit, and that also sucks. I was like, darn it. But I am only like 5'5.5". So I really didn't have a shot really. Cause if you're going to be an Olympic athlete, you're going to be taller. I had the muscles for it, just the makeup of my body with muscles. I don't think it's proportionate, but it was there. So I made up for my height with my muscles, but still it's just, I don't know. You never think, oh, I'm glad I quit. Unless you're smoking, it's just, you're never glad. But I went on to a lot of other sports that I've consistently done sports, even though I haven't done the same one consistently. Yeah.
You also mentioned your questionnaire on how school taught you to face your fears.
Oh my gosh.
What fear or like what?
Well, so,
tell us about
okay.
that.
I was not a smart child. And so I was, people say I was afraid of math. I was definitely one of those. I was afraid of math. It did not help that my geometry teacher would call me over to his desk and then touch me inappropriately while teaching me geometry. So there was reason somewhat for my fears. And that there's other males in my life that have done stupid shit like that. And I think that I'm over that now. But until college, that's when I started facing my fears. I went to a Christian Science college, and it was the first time in my life that somebody said, "Oh, Becky, you're really smart." First, like, no, but can you imagine? You're like 18, you've never been told you're smart. Just anyway, when he said it, I was like, no, I'm not. No, he's like, you just said something, and it was really smart. You're a deep thinker. So I ran with that. I wanted everybody to call me smart. Like back then, I was beautiful. All 18-year-old girls are beautiful, but that's what I thought I was. And now I'm beautiful and smart. And I was like, oh my gosh, I ran with it. And I got up to calculus 4. And then I created my own major because I was actually bad at math. I was like I made it through calculus 4 with a C. Okay. So I did make it, but there's no way I could teach calculus. So I stick to the other stuff. But I started my own major with the help of a professor called ethnomathematics. And we actually studied how math developed throughout history in different cultures. Ethno means cultural. And so that was awesome. So then I was doing my own thing in the library, in the science center, all over. And I really lean into it. Makes a difference when somebody says something to you like that. Like, let's call out the good things we see in people. And then they have the choice to lean into it. So that changed my life with one person just saying, "You're smart."
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
like,
awesome.
I want that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that, so there was a lot of fear, but then that one person took away the fear. And now I consider myself a fearless person. So, for good or bad, if something's going on around me in my surroundings, if I hear something, I run towards it. And there's this one guy who, Pat kind of reminds me of him because he was similar body type. I was, it was like really late at night. I was going for a walk, and it was in the distance, like I don't know, 100 feet away. I could hear a man yelling, and then he bent down, and it looked like he was punching and kicking. And he's like, "You're so bad!" And then I saw him punching and kicking. I didn't know what was happening, but I ran over there. I was like, "Hey, knock it off!" And then I just stood. And next thing I know, this dog was coming out behind the curb and ran right in between my legs and just lay there. And then the dude starts walking, and it's like you can see through shadows if dude's jacked or not. And he starts walking towards me. I was like, "Dude, I'll hold the bag for you, but knock that off." And I was like, he came right up to me, and he bent down, put his dog on the leash, and he's like, "Yeah, I know, I'm sorry." And he walks away. And I still have, just not afraid at all. Like, things like that I do regularly when I hear a calling. And I think fearless living is the way to live, because St. John said that God is love. So I think of God as life. Okay. So let's put God, life in that. So life is love. So as a person, if we're loving, then we're living. And the other way to say it is, if we are not loving, we're dying. And so in everything, if we're loving while we're doing it, we're living. If we're being an asshole, we're dying. It could be a slow death, could be called cancer, but we're dying.
I mean, you are what you feed your mind. I mean, the way you think and what you're thinking.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, we talk about manifestation in here all the time, and I mean, the way you speak to yourself and the way you what you want to manifest yourself to be. If you're manifesting love and speaking to yourself that way, that's what you're going to represent.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, Becky, this has been great having you in here. I've really enjoyed this conversation.
Thanks. Me too. You guys are super fun.
Thank you. Is there anything that you want to chat about before we get you out of here that we didn't get to?
Yeah, but nothing in particular. I think this was just a really great way to spend the afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, welcome. That's why we do it. Welcome to our world.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, before we get you out of here, we do end the show the same way every time. So
play a little game.
Yeah.
Call it the tombstone game.
Okay.
Realize, Becky, what's it say on your tombstone?
That love is life.
It's great.
Perfect.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you again so much. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
And thanks to everybody at home that watched or listened to this episode. If you could hit that subscribe button for us, that would help us out a ton. Pat and I are really trying to grow the show. Goal is to get to 500 subscribers on YouTube before the end of this year, 2025. So help us out. Hit that subscribe button. Share this episode with a friend. Comment what you thought below, and we will see you next time.